Good morning. We are here in some random park in Binghamton, New York. And I just had lunch. Gonna chill here, take a break from it all, which I will explain. Uh, there's a particular moment last night that I wanted to capture, and that was I was in Syracuse driving south, and I stopped in a park to eat dinner. And I watched some YouTube. I was chilling, and I had the, what would you say, desire to continue watching YouTube and just like chill and just relax. But at the same time, I had decided that I wanted to make it to Binghamton last night. And so it was as if that feeling was overridden by the idea that no, you can't just chill. You can't just, veg out for longer. Like you still need an hour. You still need to drive an hour. And my bedtime, my Whoop told me it was 8:53 or something. And so I was like, okay, minus an hour. Like so I need to be getting, in my camp spot, like getting ready for bed at 8. And so subtract an hour, hour and a half, like like you just can't do that, And I think that was a good representation of my experience of van life. At least in urban settings. When I'm camping like in national forests, it's kind of a different story. Um, but there's always it's like this baseline underlying level of movement, discomfort, pushing that never really goes away. Whereas, like, if you're when I was in my apartment, it's like there's, there is nothing, there's no barrier before, like, going to bed or like, chilling on the couch watching YouTube or TV or whatever. And this is like one of the reasons why I like van life so much is this baseline level of discomfort. It's something that I just don't get when I'm in, even at the cottage, like the past week. I mean, I had the motivation of getting 100% sleep, but yeah, it's just not the same. It's not the same. And the other thing that I wanted to share, so that was one idea, is this baseline level of discomfort of van life that I is one of the things that I like so much about it is you have to constantly be moving. And not I it's not like you're being forced. I mean, I guess you are. And just that fact makes it so that there's always something like pushing you to, okay, like I got to do the dishes now because I need to get to my camp spot, or like I need to keep driving or whatever. There's always this baseline like pushing of motivation that is so helpful. So that's one. The second was I worked in a coffee shop this morning. Sorry, I don't know how much wind you can hear. Um, I worked in a coffee shop this morning and got back to the van and realized that this how do I share this? When I got back to the van, it was such a perfect like van life moment of I had been fasting, so I was extremely hungry. It was noon, extremely hungry. So like single-minded focus of like I just need food. I need food very badly. And I get back to the van and discover that my solar battery charger is is behaving kind of weird, and it's been doing this. So okay. Long story short, it used to do this, but like very badly. So like the charging was just like all messed up, um, and it would think the battery is at 100% when it was at like 40% or 60% or 70%. I fixed this one connection, and that seemed to fix the issue. Now, as I have started using it, I have discovered that it's not, there's something still wrong. And the solar charges fine until I think it's has to do with my battery to battery charger and something about like the way that that is like charging the battery and you know increasing the voltage somewhere in the system. The voltage is not going away, or I don't know. Anyway, it's not working super properly. So when I got back to the van, I should have it should have been at whatever 90%, and it was at 78. um, so not the end of the world, but something's still not quite right. And then so I'm fasted, I'm starving, get back to the van, realize the battery's still not, or the battery's not charging correctly. So that's something I need to fix. And then I saw on my floor under like my water tank, somewhere there's some water, like not trickling, but some like damp water, not even pooling. It's just like a little bit of water that it was, on the ground, and I traced it back up all the way back up through my table, support thing, and to the back. And I checked the little screw top things where you insert the hose for the water, and like none of it is obviously wet. And so I'm like, "Ah, shoot." So now there's a leak somewhere. There's water coming out somewhere. Um, so I gotta fix that. And then I pull open my drawer and I realize the drawer has cracked because, again, long story short, this drawer, I think, my theory is that I put too much stuff in it, so the soft close latches at the back keep unhooking. And so it just like, whenever I go around a turn, it'll just like slam open and slam back because it's not being hooked by the soft close latches. And in one of the slams in the past, I think yesterday, um, the wood cracked around the outside of the frame. And so I'm like, ugh. And this is not like wood that I just have more of. Um, so the wood frame is cracked, and the drawer is still not behaving as it should. So you just like you combine all of these things. Uh, Extremely hungry, fasted, coming back, realizing that I gotta take the panel off the electrical and check the voltage and try to figure out why this is happening. And then there's like water somewhere. Where's this water coming from? Is it temporary? Is it you know did I just spill something, or is my water tank leaking? How bad is this? And then, oh, I discovered that my drawer is broken, and then my drawer is still not working properly. And it's just this like perfect accumulation of, sometimes van life is incredible and you're like parked on the lost coast of California and it's just gorgeous. There's nobody there. You open up the door and it's just beautiful, and you're fully self-sustainable. Um, in beautiful places. And then other times it's like this, where it just feels like everything's going wrong. And there's just so many things like, all right, I got to fix that, and I got to figure out why this is going on, and like, is this, how bad is this? Do I need a new, like, whole new water tank? Because that would suck. But maybe it's just temporary, and so maybe this is just a like, oh, there was water in the hose when I filled it up, and it's dripping down or whatever. And but still, I just have to figure that out, you know. Um, and I was listening to this podcast yesterday between Chris Williamson and Tim Ferriss, and they were talking about this um, idea of like the cost of doing business, and they were talking about it in the context of fame and, you know, the prices that you have to pay that are associated with the cost of doing business as someone who has acquired fame. And I remember that idea, and I applied it to this situation, and it's like the the upside of being able to live in your van, go anywhere, work from coffee shops around the country, drive anywhere you want, basically camp anywhere that you want, be fully sustainable, um, fully like self-sufficient, basically, and live this lifestyle. The prices that you pay, the cost of that privilege, is moments like these where it just feels like everything's going wrong, and it's like 90 degrees out. Inside the van, it's over 90. It's like 92 degrees. It's hot as heck, and it just feels like everything's broken, and I have to fix everything. Um, but the beautiful part about it is that I have learned so much about like increase my self confidence and learn so much about just being a handyman and fixing things. And I feel just so much more confident that, like, what's, once you've started to fix things, you get more confidence in fixing other things. And then that levels up to this generalized confidence that if you face a problem, you will be able to solve it. And so I'm not right now. I'm not in a position where it's like, oh my God, everything's going wrong. I have no idea, what's going on. I don't know how any of this works, and I don't know what to do. And like, I need to call my mom because I want to go home. That kind of thing. It's like, no, I know how to fix this. Well, hopefully, but I know how to get there, and I have this confidence that I just need to do it. Take out the voltage meter and start looking at the voltages. And you know, 2 weeks ago, I got my drawer stuck, um, and I literally thought I almost started taking apart my entire like kitchen just to get my drawer out, and I ended up just prying out this black like plastic piece at the end of the thing, and it slid right out. And that was a beautiful example of like, I know how to fix these things, and I know I can fix these things just given enough time, and I just need to do them, you know? And so, anyway, long story short, there are beautiful parts of van life, and then there are other parts, like right now, which I I hope I don't sound like I'm complaining. I just want to document this feeling that things go wrong and you have to fix them. And sometimes they all accumulate in particular moments, and it just builds because like yesterday was like on a high. I was just like, yeah, I got to fix my drawer eventually, whatever. But then this morning, you get back to the van and it's just like, I just have to fix all of these things, you know? But it's just the cost of this lifestyle. And when you layer that upon the baseline, I mean, this is another example of just like the baseline level of discomfort of like, there's, it's not like I could just not address these things. Because it's like my drawer is going to continue to slide out every time I take a turn. And so this idea I had when I was fixing my drawer was 2 weeks ago when I got it stuck. I was like, there is no option. I have to fix it, and I will fix it. There's no like, oh, I'll just get a new drawer, or oh, I'll just, not fix it. Or like I have this much space, 3 inches to be able to fit my hand through. It's like there is no option. You have to fix it. Um, and I feel that with a lot of things about this lifestyle. But you learn so much from it, and you learn so much about yourself and building this skill of generalized problem solving, which I like. And when you layer that upon the baseline discomfort, it's a mixed emotion feeling, but a high level benefit, advantage, learning, one of those words. So anyway, I am now going to go try to resolve all of these problems. And hopefully, maybe in the next 45 minutes, I can fix all of them. And then I'll have this bliss of just like everything just works, this moment makes those feelings even better. Anyway, that's my ramble for today. This is a very good representation of what this lifestyle is like and the costs. Like I said, they're not all bad. They're just different, and I will choose them over the drawbacks of living in an apartment. See you tomorrow.